Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawashi Shai Bashim Kakodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to all the hopeful elect brothers, the sincere ones that's preaching and prophesying the Lord's word all around the world, and that's uplifting the name of Yahawashi Shai. Now, this lesson is going to be based on the fact that no other nation will rule after Yahawashi comes back. When Yahawashi establishes his kingdom, no one else is going to rule. No Edomites are going to rise up and take over. No Edomites are going to rebel. No Moabites are going to rebel. Like, no Ishmaelites, no so-called Arabs, no so-called Chinese. The white man won't rebel. No one at all is gonna rise up and rebel and rule again once Yahawashi established the kingdom. And Lord will is going to be brief. I took a picture of this, but it's right here. Isaiah chapter 2 and 4. It's Isaiah chapter 2. Let me read. Let me read Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 4. Says, and he shall judge among the nations. He's talking about the other nations. The heathen nations, because the Lord's chosen people are the Israelites, the nation of Israel. But then you have the other nations. You have the so-called white man, which is the nation of Edom, the Edomites. Then you have the other nations, right? The Chinese so-called Moabites, Japanese so-called Ammonite. Well, Salakia. The so-called Chinese are the Moabites. The so-called Japanese are the Ammonites. You have the Africans, the real Africans that are in North Africa, and that are in East Africa, and that are in South Africa, right? They're the Hamites, right? You have the Ishmaelites, which are the Arabs, the Japhites, the Polynesians, the Aborigines of Australia, the Hawaiians, so on and so forth. Those are the other nations, right? And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So, he's talking about the Lord, right? The Lord, first and foremost, the Lord Yahawashi, and the elect as joint heirs, under him. The Lord is going to judge among the nations, and he's going to rebuke the people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks, which means that the Salakia, which means that those weapons that these heathen nations have for war, that they use for war. You know, it's gonna be turned into farming instruments because a plowshare and a pruning hook, you know, is all used for agriculture. So there's gonna be no more weapons of war or weapons period. There's just gonna be farming instruments because after World War III and the Lord comes back and takes these Edomites out of power and the rest of these heathen nations, they're gonna be carted off into slavery. You know, and after that, the weapons are gonna be destroyed. There's gonna be no more war. There's gonna be no more world war after World War III. It's gonna be the war to end all wars. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. There's not gonna be any country warring against another country. You know, there's not gonna be another world war. There's not gonna be another conflict. There's not gonna be Japan invading, China, or China invading Taiwan, or the Chinese invading, for hypothetical reason, an African country. There's not gonna be no country invading another country for war, because there's not gonna be any wars, and there's not gonna be any weapons to do war. Neither shall they learn war anymore. Right? And this is a complete contrast or opposite to this right here. It says, plowshares into swords. This is Joel chapter 3 verse 10. Joel chapter 3 verse 10 is a complete opposite, because Joel chapter 3, verse 9 and 10 is a prophecy that's coming to pass right now. And that's a prophecy of all these nations going into the Middle East to fight in World War III. The Valley of Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat is a Most High's judgment in Hebrew. Yahawashi, and the Armageddon, which goes into the Hebrew word Armageddon, which means amount of troops. So there will be a draft, right? There's gonna be a draft here in the US, and people are going to be sent to fight in the war in the Middle East. The Valley of Jehoshaphat. And it's going to happen soon, and it's gearing up to happen. It's going to happen very soon. But Joel chapter 9 says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles of the other nations, right? The actual Gentiles, because you have heathen nations, which are the natural Gentiles, and then you have Gentiles which are Israelites that follow the customs, and the traditions of the Gentiles, of the heathen nations that they're amongst. But this is talking about the actual heathens. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Right? So that's what's being done right now. World War III is beginning, to take shape, because for one, Russia's ready, and Russia and these BRICS nations, they are boasting and shoving it in the US, and in NATO's face that they don't need the dollar, that the dollar is pretty much about to be, out the window, and that's talking about the petrodollar, the US dollar is about to be out the window. So there was about to be World War III. Let them come up. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Right? These are nations that didn't have nuclear technology and capability. Now they have it. Let the weak say I am strong. Right? Because at one point it was just the US and Russia that had nuclear capability. But now it's these other nations that before they were weak, before America, used to bully them, but now they have nuclear technology. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, which meaning that the money and the funds that would go towards towards a country's economy for food, for food and for the agriculture and stuff like that. All of that's being given, towards war. It's being given towards the development of these weapons, especially of these nuclear weapons, and that's giving to, and that's Salaka, and that's going towards training these soldiers, stuff like that. That money is going towards war. And this is what's happening right now. But this prophecy knows for the kingdom. And it says, nation shall not lift up sword against nation. There's not going to be another nation invading another nation for war, or there's not going to be another world war. Now let me go to Ezekiel chapter 39. Chapter 39. In verse Yes, in verse 9, this is Ezekiel chapter 39 and verse 9. And this is a prophecy that's gonna happen after the Lord comes back. You know, when the Lord begins to take over, the saints shall take the kingdom. And they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth and shall set on fire. And the cities of Israel is referring to is the cities of Israel is referring to the land of Israel, because America is going to be completely destroyed, right? And then the land of Israel is going to be completely destroyed because that land is just polluted. You know, these Amalekites, the Ish people, they completely polluted our land. So the Most High is gonna have to completely destroy that land, you know, with nuclear missiles. And but the only difference is that America won't be inhabited again. But the land of Israel is gonna be the land of Israel is going to be cleaned up, you know, by these heathens, because the elect, you know, the Lord and the elect will not build up the kingdom. You know, these heathens are going to do it, you know, starting with the elites, because the elites, they're on high right now, but when the Lord comes back, you know, they're going to be the lowest of the low. They're going to be the lowest of the low kingdom. They're going to be the lowest of the low heathens in the kingdom. They're going to go from riches to rags. And they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth and shall set on fire and burn the weapons. So all weapons, you know, whatever weapons are left over after World War III is done, and when the Lord comes and delivers the elect and, you know, takes down these heathen nations and destroy, you know, all the armies of the world, because the armies of the world is going to come together, you know, to try to fight against the Lord. But the Lord is going to completely destroy them, and shall set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers, and the bows and the arrows, and the handstaffs and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years. And 7 means completion, you know. So they're gonna burn the weapons for a complete number of years. So whatever weapons are left over, they're gonna get burned with fire. So how can, you know, these Edomites or, you know, whatever nation rise up again in the kingdom, when for one, there's not going to be any weapons for them to use against us, and 2, they're going to be completely in subjection under us, and 3, we're going to have spiritual powers. You know, we're not going to be able to die. So if they come up against us, they're going to be destroyed. They're going to be put down like animals. You know, they're going to be put down, and the Lord is going to be with us. You're going to have Yahawashi there, the Son of the Heavenly Father there with us, and some heathens are going to try to rise up. That's not going to happen. So this is a prophecy that will come to pass. Ezekiel chapter 39 and verse 9. All the weapons are going to be burnt up, right? So these heathens are going to have no weapons to use against a revolt. And it's impossible for them to revolt, you know, to have a revolt or a rebellion against Yahawashi, you know, and the elect. You know, in Israel, period, because we're all going to be righteous in the kingdom. You know, when the wicked Israelites, the 2/3 come back, they're gonna be righteous. We're gonna have spiritual power. You know, we're gonna have super strength. We're gonna be able to fly. We're gonna be able to we're gonna be able to teleport. You know, uh, we're gonna have our own chariots, which is which is a which is a marvel on its own. So how can a nation come up against gods on earth? It's gonna be impossible. So let me get back to Isaiah chapter 2 verse 4, right? Because Joel chapter 3 verse 10, that's what's going on right now. You know, the money that that these nations are supposed to be using, towards their economy, towards agriculture, are being used for war. You know, for example, the U.S. Millions and billions of tax dollars are going towards the war. The maintenance of the roads and of the roads, the buildings, and the bridges. The money that's supposed to go towards that. For the upkeep of the infrastructure. For it not to go down and crumble. Most of that money is going towards war, right? So that's so Joel 3 and 10 is happening right now. It is going towards the development and the advancement of these weapons and of the nuclear technology. And another example of it going towards war are these super suits. These are super soldier programs. They spending millions of dollars on those programs. And on that technology. For the research and for the development and for the tests for these weapons and for these programs, millions and billions of dollars. So that's Joel 3 and 10. But this is going to be in the kingdom. And he shall judge, Isaiah chapter 2 verse 4, and he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people. And also, millions is going, towards, millions is going towards AI technology. And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares. So their weapons is going to be no more. It's just going to be farming instruments, because they're going to go into captivity. They're going to be in the plantation. They're going to serve us. They're going to build up our kingdom. They're going to be building our mansions and our castles. They're going to be paving, the streets of Jerusalem with gold. These heathen nations are going to be doing all that. And their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So this is just another proof that no other nation is going to rise up, especially not the so-called white man. Is going to rise up when we're in our beautiful and blessed kingdom with our Lord Yahawashi reigning, as the head over us. The Lord is going to be with us. We're going to be perfect with Yahawashi. So how can any nation get over on us again? That only happened because we sinned. But this time we're not going to sin. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Because of those new bodies, we're not going to sin. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, which we will hearken diligently, because the Lord is going to write the laws, in our minds. He's going to write the laws in our hearts. He's going to program us to be righteous. With those perfect bodies, with those immortal bodies, and we won't die because we won't sin. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, which we will do in the kingdom because of those new bodies, the mercy and blessing from Yahawashi, that the Lord thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So that will happen. This blessing will come to pass in the kingdom of heaven, because the Lord is going to have mercy on us, so that we won't sin and we won't turn our backs against the Lord ever again. So the Lord is going to set these blessings of Deuteronomy chapter 1 to 14 is all blessings. So the Lord is going to set these blessings on us in the kingdom of heaven. And all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, which means they're going to be utterly engulfed. We're going to be swimming in blessings in the kingdom of heaven. It's going to overtake us, right? We're going to be engulfed. We're going to be diving deep into those blessings, right? And overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power. And that's what's going to happen. So in the kingdom, we're going to be on high, and the heathens are going to be low, especially the Edomites. It's just another proof that, this nonsense of certain false Israelite teachers are teaching is not true. It's false, because they're going against the own book that they're reading, and they're going against the Most High by teaching those false doctrines. And if they don't repent, they're going to be destroyed. But I don't want to be in the kingdom and some heathen nations going to come revolt against us, because that makes no sense. We've been in slavery, for enough hundreds of years. We've had enough as a people. We've been destroyed enough as a people. This is it. After the Lord comes back and deliver us, there's going to be no more slavery for Jake. No more imperfect bodies, no more adultery, no more witchcraft. No more eating unlawful foods. No more going off on the Sabbath, because we're going to be able to keep the Sabbath. We're going to be actually able to keep the Sabbath, in perfection. The Sabbath is going to be a rest day. In this kingdom in Babylon, some brothers have to work on the Sabbath. And if you don't have any food to eat, you're going to have to buy some to eat. And that's the end of the lesson. Lord will, it was edifying. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahawashi, Bashim Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.